Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this edition or this episode of Bhagavad Gita as it is Bite-Size Talks. And as you know, we like to every now and then get together to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is together. I know that we all live really, really busy lives, and reading, unfortunately, isn't always prioritized as much as it should be. So here at the Hare Krishna Project, every now and then we read together a verse and a purport from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, just to kind of give us all that bite-size presentation, that bite-size chunk from one of the most important books in our tradition, the Bhagavad Gita as it is. You'll also be aware here at the Hare Krishna Project, we have a very strong preference for only reading from the original 1972 Macmillan edition of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Firstly, it looks very beautiful, but most importantly, we do this because it's our way of honoring and really showing respect for Srila Prabhupada. This was the last authorized version of Srila Prabhupada before he left the planet in 1977. And we would rather not read from editions that have been edited. So we like to read the 1972 edition. And also a bit of a plug, as you will be aware here at the Hare Krishna Project, we sell copies of Srila Prabhupada's original books. If you go to the Hare Krishna Project website and click on shop, you will see the vast selection of Srila Prabhupada's original books that we have for sale. And also, I didn't used to point this out, but I feel I have to every time. It doesn't mean they're old books. Somebody once asked me, why are you selling old books? They're not old books. They're actually pretty much brand new, back from the printers. Okay, so we are slowly going through the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And this month or this time, we do them more than once a month. On this occasion, we're reading from chapter 14. So I will read the verse, then I will read the purport or the commentary provided by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and then I will talk about it very briefly, because actually these short presentations are more about hearing from Lord Krishna himself and from Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so I'm reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 4. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. And this is the purport of the commentary provided by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature. Such living entities are not seen only on this planet, but in every planet, even in the highest where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within water and within fire. All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the living entities, being impregnated in this material world, come out and form at the time of creation according to their past deeds. One of the things that we do here at the Hare Krishna Project is we do a lot of school visits. We distribute books Srila Prabhupada's books across the UK, and we do that through schools because there's a service opportunity there, because schools invite us in, and because you've actually got a captive audience. The students that we talk to are often doing a GCSE or an A level in religious studies. And what we do, our team, when we go in, we try and present Krishna consciousness in a way that's easy to understand and that is digestible. There's nothing worse than having, and we would have all remembered it when we were at school, some religious people coming in and giving a presentation that was boring, that was dull, that really didn't make sense. So we try to make sure it's not boring, it's not dull, and that it does make sense. So we really do present Krishna consciousness as a spiritual science, just as Srila Prabhupada did and continues to do through his books. So I will give a talk about Krishna consciousness, and I try to break it down into A, B, C. So firstly, I'll explain that first, before we understand who the divine person is, or God, who we call Krishna in our tradition, we need to understand who we are. So I'll break that down and I'll talk about us being eternal spiritual beings. And then, before I get to part B, which is explaining who Krishna is, I'll talk about the reality and the fact that everything has a source. Everything comes from something. And this is a logical explanation. This is a logical reality. We experience this every single day. Everything comes from something. Everything has a source. So, I've got a ring light on here, so you can see my face a lot brighter. It's stuck on my laptop here. And this ring light didn't just appear. I didn't just click my hands like a magician and it appeared. Somebody made it. It has a source. It's elements and materials, and someone or some people brought those materials together and somebody created it. This shirt that I'm wearing, this shirt didn't just appear in a puff of smoke. This shirt came about because it has a source. Yes, there's the materials that it came from, that source in that way, but also some person or some people made it. Everything has a source. And also, we know biologically and scientifically and physically that our bodies have a source. For me personally, once upon a time, a man and a woman got together in the early-ish 1980s, and I came about as a biological being, or this body came about, and I, as a spiritual being, entered into this body. Every single thing has a source. And that's a really useful way that we explain Krishna consciousness in schools to young people. And no doubt it can completely work with adults as well. Yeah, Krishna consciousness is about recognizing that we have a source. And when you think of us, when you think of yourself, when you think of ourselves, we're all individuals. We have a unique personality. I am completely different from each every one of you. Yes, we'll have similarities, we'll have things in common, we'll have hobbies and likes and dislikes and interests, and there'll be things we have in common, but I am unique. I am a unique living entity, and I am completely different from you. I have a unique personality. If I have a personality, if I'm a personable or personal person, the source that I've come from must also be a personality, or must have a personality. And Srila Prabhupada describes that person as the supreme personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. I love that expression. I love that phrase. Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam and mostly all of Srila Prabhupada's books and the books and the writings of the Acharyas confirm that Krishna is the seed-giving Father, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And one of the many tasks, or one of the many roles of Krishna is to give life to living entities. Nothing, nothing exists without Krishna's say-so. Nothing can exist independently from Krishna. Nothing can exist independently from God or the Supreme Person, Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says this time and time again, that he is the source of everything. That's how we, in a very basic way, explain Krishna consciousness to people in the street that we meet, in schools and out at community events. I'll read it again because it's very basic, but there's so much in it. There's so much richness in this verse where Krishna very clearly just says that he is the seed-giving father. There's no um, there's no conspiracy. There's no open-endedness, which means that we might pontificate for a while and wonder, what does this verse mean? We can interpret it in so many different ways. With this verse, it is so clear. It is so clear that Krishna is the source of everything. No shades of grey. It's completely black and white. Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna says to his disciple and dear friend Arjuna in chapter 14, verse 4 of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.